back in the studio after a short break, and we're here now with special guest Leeann Noel and Johanna Courchesne from Century 21 and Cogeco. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, so great. Always happy to have a special guest with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you have some January stats for us as well.
I do. I love bringing stats for our viewers. So yes, January of 2026, and this is a year-over-year comparison based on the residential data from the North Bay Area Realtors Association MLS system. Yes, it's a mouthful. Let's get to it. Home sales are up 11.1%. That's 50 units sold in January of 2026 compared to 45 units sold in January of 2025. New listings are also up 1.1%. 94 new listings added in January of 26 compared to 93 listings added in January of 25. At the end of January of this year, the market was balanced, but favoring neither the buyers nor sellers. And the benchmark price is up 3.4%. It was $404,400 in January of 26 compared to $390,900 the same month last year.
Awesome. That's amazing to hear.
Yes.
And Johanna, you're here to discuss with us how first impressions sell homes. Is that correct?
Yes. First impressions do sell homes. I think within the first couple of minutes, buyers really determine whether they have an emotional attachment to a house or not. So your entryway, we start there. You know, if things are clean and organized, it's a really good space for clients to be welcomed in, or potential buyers, I should say, to then flow through the rest of the house, right? We look at the kitchen, we look at the living room, and in my opinion, the primary suite's always really important. These are where most people spend most of their time.
A lot of time,
right?
yeah.
You're cooking,
Yeah.
you're hanging out with your family, your friends, and then we sleep the rest of the time. So we need a cozy oasis, right?
Exactly. Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And does lighting, layout, and flow have any factor in that as well?
Yes, absolutely. People don't think about this, but the color of your light bulbs is really important going through a home, right?
Agreed.
You know, when things are too yellow or too orange, it doesn't feel natural, but if it's too bright white, it feels a little sterile, like a hospital. So we've got to find that warm balance within the middle and keeping color temperature consistent throughout your home. So it really creates a warmth and balance.
I have a question on lighting, Joanna.
Yeah.
Talk to me about overhead or something that's lit downward.
So I personally believe that we need layers of lighting in our home. So when we get into your question, when we think about that overhead lighting in a kitchen, you might have two pendants over your kitchen island, right? To give you kind of that overhead lighting. Then we have under cabinet lighting, which is more your task lighting when you're prepping or cutting things at the kitchen counter. But it's very important to have all of these because on darker days, depending where the windows are in your house, you need that layer of lighting to light the way.
Yeah, to really and create that flow.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And can you explain to me the notion that neutral doesn't mean boring?
Yes, neutral doesn't mean boring. I know that's a misconception, but you know, a home is a place where we invest a lot of our time and a lot of our money, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're thinking of flooring, paint colors could be debatable, but window colorings and furniture. Flooring, if you have a neutral floor all throughout, that kind of gives you a palette to create whatever you want from that one neutral floor.
Character,
right?
depth, or
Yeah, exactly. And it will give you longevity, right? You could have the same floor for 10 or 15 years in your house and you're just changing it up because it's either damaged or you don't like it anymore, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to a sofa, for example, you know, some people go for wild and bold colors. I believe if you're investing in a good quality sofa and you pick a neutral color, you should have that sofa for 20 years.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. For people who buy a white couch and have small children and a dog, not a good choice, right? Like you're gonna have to change that again. But neutral doesn't mean boring. It's the accessories, it's the jewelry of your home. And for me as a stager and a stylist, that is my favorite part.
Fair.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Throw cushions. They're everything. I had to get it in there.
Absolutely. And can you talk about people investing in classic pieces throughout their home that are relatable and practical as well?
Yeah, for sure. So again, kind of back to the last point, I think a sofa is something that is a really good investment. You can buy a $2,000 couch or you could buy an $8,000 couch. Yeah. They might provide you with the same thing, but one's not going to last you as long as the other, right? And if you're in your home and you're thinking, oh, I'm only going to be here for 5 years, I'm just going to buy yucky furniture. Okay, maybe that's true, but you could invest that money now and that one sofa could carry you to your next 2 homes or 3 homes, right? And I mean, it depends on what level of life you're at. And like I mentioned, if you have kids, a pet, you know, that could be different. But Furniture, I think, is a key investment. Your flooring is a key investment. Window coverings are also a very key investment because those aren't something we change often. They provide functionality, but they also provide beauty. So that's something that I think is important.
Oh, yeah. And I can agree with all this. When we talk about first impressions, right, we want to be sure that when you do have these classic pieces or you're going with neutral flooring throughout or paint, again, that first impression, it shows very well. It separates you from the rest of the inventory, which is a big bonus. And people see that you've taken pride, that it has been thought out, that it has been a process. And really that return on investment matters.
Yeah,
yes.
for sure.